Hi everyone, I'm Tanya. In this video I'll be explaining the concepts of dual professionalism and accountability with links to the quality assurance system and how they're associated with SEND learners. In teaching, dual professionalism and accountability are underpinned by the policies and procedures that are put in place and adhered to by the education provider. Additionally, teachers must apply their skills and knowledge to the planning and delivery of their lessons. To ensure this is to be most effective, teachers should create a safe and welcoming environment that will maximise the learner's development and use the resources within that department. For SEND learners, the governance arrangements must be in place to ensure a clear accountability for commissioning services. These arrangements are specifically accountable to lead members and directors in line with their statutory duties. In order for education providers to maintain and improve the quality, efficiency and equity of their provisions, a systematic review of their standards and curriculum alignment will be identified through their quality assurance. In order to gauge this quality assurance, tools are used focusing on key quality indicators. Some of these are listed here, and the most relevant for SEND learners are the learning environment, attendance and their individual goals with an underpinning of a progression-based learning. These are the 9 stages the DFE used to gather statistics and measure the quality assurance process at every stage. The quality of the statistics they gather from this cyclical analysis forms the basis for a continual improvement, but not every stage is needed for the outputs, and quality assurance should use adequate resources relevant to the stage. Too much resource is not cost effective for the general public, and too little resources increase the likelihood of errors within the gathered data, and those errors have the potential to undermine public confidence, as well as impacting on budget allocations and policy decisions. The aims of quality assurance are to provide high quality statistics that meet user needs, to establish public trust in the final outputs, to deliver value for money products, and to protect confidential, personal or commercially sensitive information. In 2021, the DFE announced some of the findings of their most current research and analysis. This was taken from SEND learners at public schools in some local areas and indicated significant weaknesses, lack of being accountable, gaps in knowledge, and lack of coordination between services. Why? Because the products and services were not the best they could be. Product being the qualification the learners are working towards, and service being the underlying of this. Although this research was obtained from schools, it did give indicators for areas that needed addressing. One of those areas was gaps in understanding, something which is still ongoing. This is when SEND learners are taken out of class for intervention activities. They're missing out on chunks of the curriculum, creating knowledge gaps and therefore missing out on access to quality education. And this is because the education support staff are not trained in delivering the subject and curriculum knowledge. This then impacts the learner's development against those of their peers. It's also taking them away from social learning with their peers, which then later has implications as they progress on to further education. This underpins the need for the SEND Code of Practice and other supporting policies that were implemented. These gaps in knowledge don't just result in poor communication skills, but also a lower ability with their maths and English skills. Focusing on those provisions for SEND learners, whilst the data is a useful indicator of accountability and quality assurance, it doesn't give a realistic view of the quality of education needed to meet the diverse needs of learners. This shows some input from the CCGs and Salford Council of the 7 areas of best practice when teaching SEND learners. Within these are a student-centred approach, inclusive teaching and learning strategies, improving cognitive load, and learning through social interaction, and the use of technological skills. In addition to this, they have published there being a significant rise in the number of EHCPs issued in Salford, from 113 in 2015 to 406 in 2017. Research from the DFE in 2021 further identified a steady increase each year for a decade up to 2018. That's 3.3% of the primary and secondary school pupil population. 7,200 of Salford children and young people receive support with their special educational needs and disabilities. To bring that into context, that's 18%. Salford also has the 3rd highest level of issuing EHCPs in the North West, closely behind Manchester and Lancashire. The Salford City Council strategy for 2019 to 2021 was the vision that every child and young person aged up to 25 with SEND will have the fullest opportunity to be happy, healthy, and achieve their full potential. In 2021, the DFE published the data gathered from the consensus, and this identified teaching SEND learners to be a significant feature in mainstream schools, and understanding how to meet the diverse needs of learners is a vital element of high quality education. They also published there was an overall general improvement across early years settings, schools, further education and skills providers, with the accountability system playing a part. This being a testament to the hard work of teachers, lecturers, practitioners, leaders and many more. But they also confirmed that the accountability system was over-dependent on performance data, which then created barriers to further developments and further improvements. They had abundant evidence in support of these findings, identifying how the accountability system didn't look at the what and why learners were learning, but how it diverted the education providers away from the real basis of education, the facts and the figures. Ofsted aimed to bring inspections back to the substance of education and training, not as data managers. Their inspections will focus on the underpinning of the quality of education and how providers complement achievement and progress. 2025 is set for a post-COVID review of education, which will outline how this new improved accountability system will inform the provisions of education, including for SEND learners. That concludes our video. Thank you very much for watching.